Okay, Nick. After a heartbreaking loss in the Super Bowl, the Cincinnati Bengals are back with a vengeance, and nobody knows better than head coach Zac Taylor that their time is now, and I think he's doing everything in his power to understand that.
Yeah, it seems like Zac Taylor has a good strategy to get the Bengals back to the Super Bowl and hopefully win it this time. And Albert Breer at Sports Illustrated had a nice piece detailing Taylor's strategy. Breer wrote Monday, the 2022 Bengals hit the field for the first time with their coaches, a full 2 weeks after the rest of the league did the same. And there's a trust that Taylor has that as a result of this. And based on the sort of locker room he's bringing back, the gesture will pay off in a group that's locked in and ready to go. Quoting Taylor here, he says, "I wanted guys to be excited to come back in the building and not, okay, we have to come back because this is when the offseason starts. Even though we just finished February 13th, Taylor said, I wanted guys to really be excited. That much, Taylor said, is already evident. Nearly the entire roster, save for franchise tag safety Jesse Bates and another guy or two, was in town for phase one of the offseason program. Taylor said the guys are energized. The guys I've seen around the locker room, the weight room, guys are energized and ready. All right, Maya. So obviously the Bengals made a big run last season. They got their quarterback in place. They got a lot of their key pieces in place. And I think Zac Taylor has the right idea here. There's no point in starting your offseason program early to just bury the guys into the ground. They need to be healthy and fresh for hopefully a long season and postseason.
Well, and Nick, and I'm going to bounce it back to you here. I'm going to ask you a question. Being a former college player yourself, you had to go back early for spring practice and all kinds of stuff before school as well. I mean, making it as exciting as possible, making it as least amount dreadful as possible, that's the best strategy you can have, don't you think?
Well, yeah, especially a lot of people don't understand is after training camp and after, week 1, week 3, as you go through the season, you're worn down. And that's even more so in the NFL by an order of magnitude than it was when I played in college. So these guys, it's a brutally long stretch, and credit to Taylor for recognizing that because they just went through it, obviously making a run to the Super Bowl. So recognizing that, hey, look, we don't need to go through all these extra practices, right? We've got our core group in place. We got Jamar Chase. We got our quarterback, Joe Burrow. We brought in the veteran offensive lineman to beef that up. We've got everything we need in place. Let's not wear down the team early. Let's keep everybody fresh, everybody excited, everybody here that wants to play football. Because people, remember, there's a psychological element to this. Just a few months ago, they were going through practices and workouts, prepping for the playoff run and the Super Bowl and all that stuff. Like, it is a long, long season. And you want to have your players have the mindset that, hey, this is fun. We're excited to be back, not, oh, here we go again.
And you bring up an interesting point. Being that the Bengals were in the Super Bowl, they've been playing and practicing longer than anybody else. They've had the least amount of rest compared to all of the other 30 teams in the NFL who weren't in that Super Bowl game. So it makes sense for them to take it easy in the beginning and, ramp things down, start a slow build up to things. Being a Ravens fan last season, I know what can happen in minicamp and OTAs. If you're not careful, you can blow out every ACL that your entire team has. It's very possible. So I think Taylor's taken the bless the knees, bless the ankles approach. Let's take it easy. No injuries. Let's capitalize on our position.
Well, when you look at the rest of the AFC and the contenders, and we'll start with the AFC North first, there's a lot of volatility in those, right? You obviously Pittsburgh Steelers, brand new quarterback, Roethlisberger's gone. Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson's there, but the suspension, what's going to happen there? There's some volatility there. The Ravens, with all the injuries they had last year, they're essentially a brand new team in 2022. So there's a lot of recalibrating there. When you look in the rest of the AFC, the other contenders, the Chiefs, brand new receiving core, essentially. The Raiders got Devontae Adams. The Chargers added J.C. Jackson, Khalil Mack. I mean, you can go on and on and on. Denver Broncos with Russell Wilson. There's so much change in the AFC. And the number one team, the team that went to the Super Bowl, represented the AFC in the Super Bowl, they're focusing on, and I think rightly so, continuity. Like, they don't have a lot of change. They didn't go through any of that volatility. They got the key pieces in place. So they don't need to worry about, hey, how do we get on the same page? They already were on the same page. It's all about maintaining it. And like you said, making sure you don't blow out knees in mini camps or OTAs to get through the season.